Hey everybody, my name is Manik, and in this video we'll talk about how the interviews are going in this math season, which is the math season 2022. So the first thing to know is all the interviews that are happening right now are virtual, and there are different softwares that are being used by programs. So the most commonly used software that I've seen is Zoom. Then there's WebEx, which is by Cisco, and then there's Microsoft Teams. So different programs use different softwares, and it's just up to them, and whatever is convenient to them, so they use that software. Secondly, the thing to understand is how are the interviews structured. So the first thing is duration. So the duration varies interview by interview and specialty by specialty. Like for internal medicine, a lot of my friends who are applying there, the interview duration is not that much. It's about 3 hours. And I'm applying in psych. For me, the minimum interview duration is 4 hours, and I've had interviews that were as long as 6 hours. So it varies program by program and specialty by specialty. And the time that you have on average with an interviewer will be 25 minutes, but sometimes in some long interviews it will be 1 hour per interviewer. Then the second thing to know is how are the interviews structured. So when the interview starts, you have these first few minutes where the program director or the chief resident, they take you through the first a program overview and just show you things about the program. And then we have interviews, individual interviews with people. So there are about on an average 3 people who interview you. The first one would be the program director, and that will always be the case. The second one would be the chief resident, and the third one will be the associate professor or the associate PD. And most of the times it's gonna be like that, and in between the interviews you're gonna get breaks, and these breaks can vary from 5 to 15 minutes. And for my friends, sometimes it's even 25 minutes for them. For me it also varies, so again the breaks can vary. So that's about it. And in the end what happens is there's a wrap up either with the program director or with the chief residents, where they just answer some of the questions that you might have about the program that haven't been answered before, in the rest of the interview. So that's interesting. In the end, what happens is if you want to, you can send a thank you letter to them. I generally do it because these people take out the time and their precious time and give it to me and spend it on me. So I write them a thank you letter, because they've given me their precious time. So that's something, and that's how interviews are structured. Now regarding questions, there are multiple types of questions you can get asked, but these. So I was asked to talk about questions that were a bit what did you, and that, those kind of questions, that make you what are you asking. So these are behavioral questions, which and behavioral questions are recommended by ACGME to just because they have been proven to show an applicant's thought process and show how mature the applicant is. So behavioral questions can be a patient scenario, and let's say something happens to the patient. They're going to give you that scenario, right? And they're going to ask you, what are you going to do next? So that's very interesting. And sometimes I get I don't, and you get that insight, you can't answer that very spontaneously. You have to think a bit with that. So yeah, behavioral questions are a tough one. And they can vary. There's no pre-prepared list that you can get. Then there are other questions that are really common with a lot of programs. This you can find on the internet. These are common questions, common interview questions, what drives you for a certain specialty and why that program. So these are common questions, not that hard to answer. Just Google common interview questions for the match USMLE, and you'll get that. So guys, thank you for giving me your time. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.